It's Guy Talk Friday. Guys, thank you very, very much for coming again. You're welcome. Please have a seat and enjoy yourselves. Let's have a talk. Let's have a good talk. Let's be honest. Let's be raw and clean about it, guys. Let's be raw and let's talk, gentlemen. Let's talk, gentlemen. Let's have a chat. And I've gotten a lot of encouragement. I've gotten a lot of positive responses from you guys, and I love it. And I love it. And I appreciate this platform that you guys are affording me. Last week, we dropped the video, Foreplay, Safe Play. In one day, the video got on Twitter. These are the statistics for Twitter. On Twitter, the hashtag is Guytalkfriday. And in the one day, we got 1,131 views. We got 11,541 impressions. With the video, we also dropped a tweet that was titled, "What's your take on foreplay?" It got 28,831 impressions. It got 8,831 engagements. Guys. Gentlemen, we are talking. It's happening, guys. We are talking. I promise you, it's happening. On YouTube, in that same day, we got 987 views, just under 1,000. So that we are humble. We should still remain humble, right? We shouldn't get too overly confident and arrogant. But otherwise, we're doing it. We're talking, guys. We're talking, and it's positive, and people are loving it, and we're growing and becoming better at it. And the numbers are beautiful. The numbers are good. But to be honest, what really touches me the most are the comments. The comments really show me that you guys are understanding me. And that's the most important thing for me. The most important thing for me is that you understand me. And is that we can reflect on this and we can teach each other and we can grow each other. That is the one main priority, gentlemen. And it's happening. It truly is happening. Because in the tweet that we dropped, one of the guys immediately commented, I'll remind you of the tweet, "What's your take on foreplay?" The guy immediately was like, "It's not for side chicks. They'll catch us while we're doing it." What? I want to say give that man a bells, but it's not for side chicks. They will catch us. Why? It's like, no, foreplay is a waste of time. Let's just do the deed and get out of here. And after laughing and cracking myself out from that comment, I thought about it and it led me to this week's topic. Guys, why do we have sex? Gentlemen, why do we have sex? I'm going to give you a minute. I'm going to give you a minute to think about it. Why do we have sex? This week's topic is sex, connection, consciousness. Why do we have sex? Because if you think about it, after engaging a lot on the comments and talking to my guys over braais and everything else, phone calls, because I promise you guys, this is growing and this is doing really good. The positivity, it's just amazing. It's growing. We're talking about this everywhere. So while I was engaging other people about it, a lot of guys actually did go with that comment. They supported it. They were like, "No, brother, you know what? The thing is, in a relationship, the sex dies. And when the sex dies, you find yourself going outside to seek that sex." And I'm like, wait, but you talk about sex as if it's an object. You talk about sex as if it's something that you go out and then you shop for. Why do you have sex? And whenever I get to this part, like the guys just get confused a little bit. They think I'm being weird. But I was like, no, guys, let's be aware of this. This is where the part consciousness comes in. Let's be aware of what we are doing. I hear what you're saying. Most of them, I'm just going to summarize their concerns. They were like, listen, you get into a relationship and about like the first 6 months is beautiful. The sex is hot. The sex is steaming. You're doing it everywhere, every time. After that, then it starts going down, the problem starts going up, they start complaining. Some of the women use the sex to control the men and they hold back on the sex and all of these things. And I'm like, okay, guys, I hear what you're saying, but why do you go out to have the sex? And then immediately some of the guys are like, oh, you think you're better than us? You've never cheated? I have. I will give my views and my personal opinions and impressions. As I said, we're keeping it raw and clean here, guys. I'm not gonna come out here and pretend like I'm a saint. No, I'm not. Most of the things that we're experiencing as men, funny enough, a lot of us are experiencing it. Hence the guy talk. We just don't talk about it. So let's talk about it, right? So now the problem here is that we're in a relationship and then we committed as men. After a while, the sex becomes horrible, and then in our brains, with our geniusness and our intelligence, we figure, well, this is a good woman. I love her. I love everything, but the sex is not good. So let me go outside and get the sex, and then we'll be complete, right? But sadly, what we end up having is that when you do that, you find in a relationship, because you change and women are intelligent, they usually pick up that no, there's something wrong, and they stop doing their detective thing. Sherlock Holmes has got nothing on a woman in a relationship or a married woman. Sherlock Holmes is second to them. They start doing the investigations and they find out, and they know that you're cheating. And what ends up happening is that now you start having guilt and depression in a relationship. You start feeling horrible because you can also tell that she knows. And then when you're outside cheating, you start becoming anxious as well. Hence the guy was saying that no, we'll get caught because we have a short period of time. And you find yourself having all these problems and you never started with them. So what is the solution? The guy asked me. And today I was like, there's no really clear-cut solution, guys. I won't sit here in front of you guys and pretend to be a sex guru. Yes, I do my researches, and funny enough, because I enjoy this so much, I find myself putting so much time and passion into these topics than I ever have in medical school. I promise you. I've never studied this hard in medical school, but it's because I enjoy this. It's because it's personal to me. And it's because I see it every day, because most of these things as well, I share them with the guys at the men's clinic. When I see my clients at men's clinic, I share some of these things with them because I believe that sexual problems stem naturally from the mental problems. I tell the guys that don't bring your problems into the bedroom, because once your problems come into the bedroom, then you won't be able to have sex, and thereby you will not connect, right? My belief, personally, I believe that sex is connection. For me, it starts there and it ends there. Sex is connection. That's why the previous video, foreplay, safe play, I put in a lot of emotion in it. I was trying to express that foreplay enhances that connecting part. It's not all of it. Foreplay just enhances it. The sex as well, the activity and the positions and how you guys communicate, body language and all of that. As I said, that I can't tell you how to do that because that is between the two of you guys. But the foreplay enhances that activity, and when you put it together, you find yourself, you're connected. Let me tell you about this moment. Gentlemen, you know when you have hit it. When you have hit it. You know that moment when you have done it so well that she's laying here and she's just telling you all positive things and beautiful things about yourself. And in the morning you get breakfast and you're like, yeah, this is it. This is the life. I'm talking about that moment, and I want that moment to be every day. Let's make that happen. So if you have that connection through sex, the relationship is going to mushroom, the relationship is going to grow, and the relationship is going to be positive. And I understand that there are a lot of factors that interrupt that sex and connection. And some of it, as I have mentioned, is when you bring the problems into the bedroom, when you guys are angry with each other and then the woman holds back on the sex, or when you don't want to do it because you have money problems and you're not confident and all of those things. We get that part. So it brings us to the third part of my topic. Well, it's consciousness. Consciousness is naturally awareness. Are we aware of these things, guys? Are we aware of these things, or is it that when they happen, immediately we fall on the plan B of having a side chick? Because if we're not aware of it, then we will fall into that trap of getting a side chick, and your woman will know about your side chick, and you'll start having problems like anxiety outside, depression in the home, and it's just going to be a mess. So why do we have sex? Let me be personal about it. Let me answer that question. For me, I find that the best way, if not the only way for me to connect to women is through sex. Personally, I'm keeping it clean and I'm keeping it raw, truth and honest. For me, I connect to women through sex because intellectually, I'm not lucky enough to have women that engage me. A lot of women that I meet, they like to talk about problems at work, talk about their nails, talk about their makeup and all of these things. And this doesn't really interest me. I read on Sigmund Freud, I read on Friedrich Nietzsche and the philosophers and psychology and science and all of these things, and they never really engage me on that. And I can't connect with them through conversation. So what I end up doing is during the conversation, I just give them fillers like, yes, babe, okay. And then what happened? What? Really? I can't believe that. But that time I'm not even listening, and the poor lady's just talking and talking, and I'm not listening. How many of us do that, guys? Come on. Let's keep it real, guys. How many of us do that? So I find myself that I'm not conscious. I'm not aware at that time. I'm a horrible listener. I don't listen to them. And when that time comes and we have to do the thing, then that's when I'm there. That's when I'm present. I'm a sexual beast. And because of that, unfortunately, I have been accused of being one, a sex addict, and two, a pervert. I do not accept those labels. I really don't. As I have explained myself. Why is it that I use sex to connect to women, right? And I find that a lot of guys also have these labels. They're called perverts and they're called sex addicts. And some of them end up believing it. Let's put a pin on that one. Here's another guys that I have talked to. Some of the guys that I talk to are the guys who watch porn. That is another issue, guys. And let's talk about it. It's quite a big issue, to be honest. Personally, my first sexual experience, I was 18 years old. But my true first sexual experience, I was 13 years old. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, self-pleasuring. I was watching porn as a young man and I was self-pleasuring all this time. And what that did to me is that it gave me these unrealistic expectations. Like you find models and actors who are doing the craziest things on camera. And when you find a woman and when you start having that engagement with her, you start expecting her to do the things that those guys are doing. Then when she doesn't do that, it kind of like knocks you off because you're like, no, this is not how it's supposed to be. Most of my clients at men's clinic have this problem. They do say, they're like, when I masturbate, everything is all well and good. But when I have to do the deed with my woman, I don't get an erection. Or I ejaculate early. What's wrong, doctor? Should I be playing porn in the background while I do it with my woman? And I'm like, well, you can try it, but she's probably not going to be happy with that. So pornography is also a problem. It's also something that we should talk about. And personally, I find that the more you watch porn, the more it creates these unrealistic expectations for yourself that when reality comes and you have to engage the woman, you can't. Or you get so disappointed that you don't want to do it again. And you end up going outside, and there are some ladies who really are willing to do some of those things, and you find yourself doing them with them. You understand what I mean, guys? Let's talk about it, guys. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Are you still with me here, guys? So now a bit more on that conscious part. It's the safe part of it, like the safe sex. Remember how we mentioned in the previous video that there's a portion when you do foreplay, it gives you room to use a condom because that is important. We also put on Twitter, we asked the people what condom do they use, what brand of condom do they use, what brand of condoms do they prefer. And 1,082 people voted, and of those, 59% chose Durex, 26% chose Trust, and only 16% chose skin. I hope the numbers tally. So now, with that being said, actually, I just thought about it. It was 59% of Durex, 25% trust, and 16% skin. So, with that being said, I decided to also look a little bit on that part, look a little bit on the condom choice, right? And I did a bit of study, and I've noticed that what is important about condoms, to be honest, as much as they're advertising the brands, as much as we're looking at the price and we think that the more expensive one will be the best one to use, the condom also affects the sex, because most guys will tell you, as I have engaged some of these guys, they'll tell me, they're like, no, my man, hey, the condom, bruh. Hey, when I put on the condom, like, things could be okay, but as soon as I put on the condom, I lose my erection. So I just don't want to put on the condom. When I put on the condom, it makes me come faster, or it just doesn't make me come at all, and all these things. And I'm like, gentlemen, come back here, come back to me. Let's be a little bit more conscious about it, right? There are three things that you look at when you're choosing a condom. Three main important things. The first thing is fit. Now, the thing with the fitting is that the length, to be honest, is really not that important. In South Africa, our condoms are averaging from about 170 millimeters to about 190. So the length is not really that important. What's important is the width, because the width is what actually goes with the size of your penis, right? So you want to get, if you have a below average or an average size penis, you want to get something that is a little bit smaller. So these are the ones that when they advertise them, they make them seem as if they're thin and they're real feel and all of these things. So now with Durex, what you will notice is that the feather light is 56 millimeters and the ultra feather light is 52 millimeters, right? And the rest of the other condoms, the Performer and the Pleasure Max, as well as the Real Feel, these ones are 56 millimeters, which means they're a little bit thicker, which means they're a little bit bigger. So they will not give you that snug, comfortable feel. So if you're a person that has erectile dysfunction and you can't really maintain erection, you want to get a fit that is a little bit smaller. So you want to get something that is about 52 millimeters. 52 millimeters will be your skin, and it will be your Featherlight Ultra, right? I have a little bit of a sample here to show you. So again, this is skin. This is the condom skin. What I have also noticed is that while I was going through the comments, most people that chose skin, a lot of them, well, not necessarily most people that chose skin, but the reason why skin had the low numbers is because a lot of people didn't know about it. Most people didn't know about the product. So that's why I wanted to bring it out here and just show it to you guys, that skin also has three other products, but we won't really go much into them. And the second thing that you want to look at when you're choosing a condom, it is the lubricant. So with regards to the lube, it could either be oil-based or water-based, or it could have benzocaine. Benzocaine is naturally a numbing agent. For the guys that have early ejaculation, this is a good idea, because if it has a numbing agent, it makes the tip of the penis a little bit not so sensitive. It doesn't really have feeling. So now when you have intercourse, you find that you can last much longer because of that numbing agent, right? And the rest of the other condoms, they just have a little bit more of it. You'll find them, they have extra lube. But naturally, if you have done the foreplay the way that I have suggested that you do it in the previous video, your lady will be wet and you won't necessarily need extra lube. The third thing that is important is the texture of the material, right? With regards to the texture of the material, you find some condoms which are ribbed and studded. A ribbed and studded one is that one that has like extra feeling. It has like a little bit of like dots around it, so that when you're having that intercourse, the lady can really get that nice feeling of it and the stimulus. This also works for the guys that have early ejaculation, because you can also have very slow thrusts while you're having this throw thrust, she is also being stimulated by those dots. Or you can just have your normal smooth condoms, right? So I'm going to show you again. The other thing that is also important is the material. What you need to understand, gentlemen, is that some ladies are allergic to latex. So some of the condoms are non-latex condoms. Like this Real Feel condom here, the Durex Real Feel condom is non-latex. And where you want to see, usually they write it, this is the bareback one, they write it right at the box down here. They will write their latex or non-latex condoms. And that's just basically the three things that you want to look at when you're choosing a condom. So this is part of the awareness. This is what you want to look at. This is the conscious part of things, that why do you have sex? And once you understand why you have sex, then you can move on to understanding that I want to have safe sex. And if you're going to have safe sex, what condom are you going to be using and why? Are you going to look at the fit? Are you going to look at the lube? Or are you going to look at the material of it? Depending on you, on yourself, like what condition you have, if you have any condition, or what preference do you have. And through this, then it will be much easier for you to understand what you're doing. Because some of the guys I've heard, even when you're chilling and they just look at a girl and they're like, yo, this one is pretty, I'm just gonna go raw. And you're like, but whoa, how do you make such a bold decision? Like what fact are you basing it on? And just like, yeah, she's a yellow bone, she's pretty, so I really want to get that connection. That's all that they're saying. All that they're saying is that because this woman is so pretty, I want to get that connection with her, and I feel like the only way I can get that connection is if I have unprotected sex with her. No, gentlemen. No. That is not true. The truth of the matter is you have to be conscious about it. You have to be aware of it. Why do we have sex first? It's for connection for most of you. That's why some of us want to do it raw. Secondly, what you need to understand is that it doesn't have to be raw. You can pick the right condom for you that will give you and will enhance that connection with your partner. You get that? And you will not have to be guilty or anxious about anything. Again, foreplay is safe play. I hope you enjoyed this video. And this video had a lot of points. It had a lot of questions. It sparked up a lot of conversation, and that is the idea behind this, because I don't have a lot of time. So I give you questions, I give you content that should really make you think. Some of it will confuse you, some of it you'll agree with it, most of it you might not agree with it. But that's why we're taking it to the commenting, so that we can have conversation there. Remember, on Twitter, follow the hashtag Guytalkfriday, and here on YouTube you can subscribe, and feel free to comment, and let's have conversation about it, guys, because that's the main thing about it, to be honest. The main thing is for us to talk about it. We spark up these problems and these conversations, we talk about them, and then we see where it takes us. Thank you very much, guys. Again and again. I really appreciate it. I appreciate this platform that you have given me. I appreciate the positivity. Thank you very much, guys. Until again next week, guys. Cheers.